Alright, it is day 18, December 13th. It's 48 degrees outside. I got off early today. I got off about 1 o'clock. It's about 2:30 now. I had a couple errands to run while I was in town. Today was an easy day. All in all, when we showed there, we kind of hung out for just a little bit and kind of chit-chatted and BS'd. But then we went to, we sent one guy home. We were waiting on block workers. The guys who are setting up the block, he calls them blockheads, but I don't know if that's politically correct. Anyway, so we're waiting on these blockheads to come and do their job so we can install boxes as they go along. But it was raining this morning, so they didn't come in at all today. And I'm not sure if they're there now because the rain has stopped, but they might have come back in after we left. I'm really not certain. But so one guy went home and I went with the foreman and we went to another location, which is in a town about an hour away. We drove down there. Apparently they had done a bunch of work for this place previously and they had missed something on the spec sheets. They were supposed to put in a transformer which turned 240 power into 120 power, and then they used that 120 power to control to power the control, which turned this pump on and off. So I may be misunderstanding this. I didn't get, it was really loud in there, so as my boss was talking I wasn't able to hear, which really sucks. But okay, so essentially 240 volt power, I think this is actually not 277, 208, because it's 120, 208. So 208 volt power comes in to this box. It is then distributed to the starter, and the starter coil will turn on and off based on the control. But the control didn't have any power. So originally this was spec'd in for a transformer, which basically just turned our 240 power into 208 power into like 104, which was enough to turn on this because it's just basic control. So I had several questions about this in regards to, like, why couldn't we just tie into one of the legs? But it was tie into one of the legs of the two-phase, but it's because we didn't have a neutral in that box. Because when we're doing three-phase 208, yes, when we're doing three-phase 208, you don't have a neutral. You just have three phases, and one leg acts as a neutral, or that's where the power is carried out on. This is the kind of studying that I need to do because I know a lot of the basics of electricity, but I have a lot of questions in regards to, you know, what does what. So anyway, so we couldn't we couldn't hook it up. We basically just ran a new 120 volt cable. Now, one thing is that we were at 4 cables in the conduit, and we only had to add in 2 more because there was already a ground. So we only had to add in 2 more, a hot and a neutral. And so if you have more than 6 current carrying conductors in conduit, you have to derate it, which basically means if we had to put in something that was 240, something else that was 240 in there, like 120, if we had to put in 2 more legs and a neutral, which, yeah, if we had to put in 2 more legs and a neutral, that would have taken us up to 7 conductors, and we would have had to basically increase all of the wire sizes 1 size up. So everything we had that was size 10 would have had to go to size 8, and everything we had that was size 12 would have had to go up to size 10. So we were luckily just under the threshold, which is something cool that I learned. I'm going to go home and I'm going to pull out my code book and I'm going to study on it and I'm going to think about it and see exactly why that is. Derating is something that came up in school but wasn't necessarily discussed very often. But I remember the word, and I remember thinking that I didn't fully understand exactly what it meant. But that's something that I will have to look into and learn, is that. I also learned another cool fact. You can do a splice inside of a conduit body, like an LB or like an elbow, and you can do a splice inside of there as long as it does not break your maximum numbers of conductors per the cubic inches of that. And there is a chart in there is a chart in the code book as far as conductor fill goes. So that's really cool. I didn't know that. I also learned that LBs, which are just conduit bodies, count as a break in the 360 rule. So you can't go more than 360 degrees worth of bends in conduit without needing a pull box or a junction box of some kind, and an LB fulfills that requirement. So technically you could put, instead of doing a 4-point saddle, you could do 4 LBs. You could do an LB that points up, an LB that continues the same direction, an LB that continues the same direction and points down, and an LB that goes from the down to the same direction. That's really cool. Technically, you could just bend a 4-point saddle to do all that, but it would work. That's it. I just got to kind of chit chat with my boss about the job, about people who have worked here before, and the turnover rate and things like that, because he brought up the fact that after my 60 days I should get a company credit card, and that I'll use that like if I'm in a company truck and it needs gas, or if like the guys needed slickers for that hydrovac, which is like a rain suit, and so they just went to Atwood's and bought slickers. So with their company card, and then they just charge it to that. And so if we happen to be somewhere where we have to buy something for work, we have a card on us, but it's strictly that. Anyways, we don't get that until after 60 days. And I asked him, like, do a lot of people, like, how many people don't hit that 60-day mark? And he said that me and the other youngest apprentice, who's 20, are the only 2 people who have hit that since he's been on. He's been on for a while. And just because they had a really high turnover rate, but they're starting to get things figured out and turned around. So, but I plan on sticking with the company for a long time. I don't have any intentions of leaving. I'm not moving. I'm not getting a better job. Where I live at, there are no better jobs. I have to drive an hour to work every day, and that's on a good day. I don't want to have to drive 2 hours to work every day. That's a big difference. Tool today is my flashlight. Again, that's really the only tool that I used. That, and I guess my 11-in-1. But I really only used those 2 tools. My flashlight was cool because my boss was down in this, looking in this cabinet trying to decipher how this motor control worked, and how this, I don't know what to call it. I don't even know where to start on those things. But my boss got to looking at these things, and he was trying to use his iPhone, and I just pulled out my flashlight, and it's really bright. It made it really, really easy for him. And then, at one point he needed it, and I was able to just pass it to him. It's not a big, bulky mag light. It doesn't weigh 4 pounds. It's tiny, it's small. And then the other thing is my 11-in-1. I always had my pouch on me, and so my boss said, all right, I got to go to the truck and get a screwdriver. Nope, I got one right here. He pulls out the list that the breakers were on, the breaker schedule, and he's like pulls out a pencil, and I'm like, hold on, I got a pen right here in my pouch. So I guess technically my pouch would be the tool of the day, because I used it a lot today for sure. I used my pen, my pencil, my marker, my Sharpie. I used everything. I used every single thing that I keep on that pouch in there. So that was really cool. So that's definitely a tool today. For lunch, I actually didn't eat lunch while I was at work. After I clocked out, I stopped and got Wendy's. I got a 4 for $4. I think I got a Coke, which I still have some, which is cool. So I got a 4 for $4 with Coke. That was a good lunch. That's really it. It's a short video today because I had a short day. I didn't really do a whole lot. Tomorrow we're gonna get back to digging, so I should have some fun digging time stories. I'll probably be watching Block while I dig, or while Jose digs and the foreman spots for him. Although I'm not 100% comfortable looking at plans and knowing where things need to go just yet. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If that's something he means, I'm gonna have to do it eventually. Why not now? I took a little bit of architecture in school, a little architectural drafting, and so reading prints isn't hard on me. I get it. I understand where things need to be. But all right, let me go ahead and pull over, upload this video, make my way home. Have a good day. Bye bye.